The origins and course of the First World War. That is from 1905 to 1918. This is a course that I'll be doing on my channel. I will be posting several videos on the whole entire book, mainly because I enjoy history. I really like it, but also because I really want to help anybody who is interested in learning about this history, and also people that are taking this course and want to get started with it already, or are trying to get a bit more information. So I thought that it'd be really helpful for people like that. So I really hope you enjoy, and so let's get started. The great powers of the 20th century Europe. So we have Europe. 6 great powers, all still very tense from the recent conflict in the late 1800s. Now these powers are Great Britain. That is one of the main great powers that we'll be discussing throughout this book. The next one is France, and they are also very influential in this book. I mean, most of the battle takes place in France, so it's very important. Next up, we have Russia, also very important. We have Germany. We have Austria-Hungary, and finally, Italy. These are all the great 6 powers of Europe. Now, the tension that they all had to secure land and access trade, as well as future expansion, led to the grouping of these countries. And that is called the alliance system. So, what do I mean by that? The fact that they had to secure land, we can see this in countries like Great Britain. Great Britain needed to secure the land that they had in the colonies they had abroad, such as the colonies in Australia, for example. So they really needed to secure all the land, especially in Africa, because it needed to demonstrate that it was still this very powerful empire. France was eager to be able to trade, and its economy was also very fragile as it had lost Alsace-Lorraine from Germany after the Franco-Prussian War. So it's also very important there. Russia, it was futile and underdeveloped, so it was very eager to align with themselves with power, so that in case of any attack, such as German attack, they would have some support. Germany, just like Britain, needed to secure the land and actually gain more. They had to secure the land, gain even more power, not just manpower, also economic power, naval power, and proof that they deserve just as big as an empire as the British. Then we have Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary is very meticulous about the nationalities in its empire, and so it needs to control them, as well as ensure that any attacks from its buddy Russia can be prevented. Next up, we have Italy. This is a new country that is formed after the unification of Italy. This is a topic in history, which if you know about, then you know pretty much what's going on in Italy. So, Italy is very poor. The economic and military power is one of the lowest in this group. And so it really needs to align themselves with countries that can support them in case of any conflict, which we see later on. Now, the rulers or the prime ministers of these nations. So why is this important to know? It's really important because you might be taking other courses. I mean, you have to take other courses apart from this one. And those courses might include or involve some of these leaders, such as Lord Arthur Balfour, if you're taking the conflict, crisis, and change in the Middle East, or Tsar Nicholas, if you're looking at the Russian Revolution. So yeah, all of this stuff is really important to know. And all of this is just extra knowledge, a little bit of a sprinkle of extra knowledge, if I might say. So first of all, we have the Prime Minister of Britain, that is Lord Arthur Balfour. and he's important to know, not because he's gonna come up in this book. He actually doesn't. But instead, he comes up in the Conflict, Crisis, and Change in the Middle East book. So it's pretty useful to know. Then the ruler of France is Émile François Loubet. The ruler of Russia is Tsar Nicholas II. He comes up in the Russian Revolution book, so it's pretty good to know. The ruler of Germany is Kaiser Wilhelm II. Kaiser is just a title, but it's good to know the full identification of this ruler. Next up, we have Austria-Hungary, and its ruler is Franz Joseph. Finally, Italy, and their prime minister is Giovanni Giolitti. Now, there are a lot of other prime ministers, but this is the one I'm gonna focus on for now. Okay. Next up, we're learning the terminology of this course, specifically this chapter. These words come up quite a lot in the book, so it's pretty important to know what they are. Especially one of them. It had me honestly busting my head just to find out what it actually meant, even though it's pretty simple to get. We have alliance. Now, this is a formal agreement between two or more states for mutual support in case of war. So alliance is a bit different than entente, which is going to come later. Because you see, alliance is formal agreements, meanwhile entente is a friendly agreement. So keep that in mind. Next up, we have Slavs, and there's a picture of Slavs that reside a lot closer to Russia. But in general, a Slav is a member of a group of peoples in Central and Eastern Europe speaking Slavic languages. And in this context, actually, they are found in Russia, Serbia, Bosnia, and Montenegro. But they're actually found in many other places. It's just that they don't really come up in the book, so it's not really important for you to know. Just know these are the main places that Slavs come from. Next up, we have Entente, and as I've said, an Entente is a friendly understanding or informal alliance between states or factions, in this case between France and Britain. So an alliance is a formal agreement, an Entente is an informal agreement. So there we go. A splendid isolation. This is a policy of purposely avoiding alliances to avoid being dragged into war. We can see this in the case of Great Britain, where they established a splendid isolation in order to prevent any more war, really. Then we have the treaty. A treaty is a binding formal agreement, contract, or other written instrument that establishes obligations between two or more subjects of international law. So, here we have the Triple Alliance, and this is the first alliance that actually completely unified. So, this is why I'm talking about this one first. And it involves Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, in that specific order. By 1905, Italy, Austria-Hungary, and Germany had formed the Triple Alliance. So, first of all, Germany and Austria-Hungary formed the Dual Alliance in 1879. So this alliance basically stated that Germany and Austria-Hungary would support each other financially in case of a Russian attack, as well as declare neutrality if any power was to antagonize them. So the term support each other financially, we can really see this in the case where Germany gave Austria-Hungary a blank check. Now this blank check is basically like, buddy, I'm gonna support you, you're in trouble, you're lacking the finances, so here you go. You can ask for whatever you want, fill the check, take whatever you want, I'm here for you. Basically, this is what gave Austria-Hungary the yes, I can do it, and decided to declare war on Serbia. But I'm getting way too ahead of myself. The point where they would declare neutrality if any power was to antagonize them means like what you see. If there was a power that was like, buddy, I'm gonna fight you because of this and this and this, and you gotta stop this and this and this, or else I am gonna fight you and destroy you. So in case that happened, they're like, nope, backing away, we're not doing it. We don't support anybody, we don't support you, we don't support anybody you're supporting, we don't hate anybody that you hate, we're just on our own lane. But of course, that didn't really happen, because if it had happened that way, just maybe we wouldn't have war, you know? So, yeah, they freaking messed up. So, yeah, this statement is very untrue. And a little bit ironic, if I'm being honest. So, why did this whole thing happen in the first place? Well, the dual alliance was formed as a way to prevent Russia from threatening war, thus maintaining the peace between these empires. This fear Russia would have of these two empires, they would think that it'd be enough for it to stay away. So this, and the fact that there was a need to prevent any form of isolation where one country is dragged into a war alone. So what this means is that in case of a war, the dual alliance will prevent isolation, that is where one country is fighting the other powers alone. Which, again, very ironic, because that's exactly what ends up happening. So the unification of the Triple Alliance, no pun intended, if you've done the unification of Italy and Germany, is when Italy joins in 1882, making it the Triple Alliance. So Italy was promised that in case of a French attack, where Italy hadn't even provoked a French attack in the first place, Germany and Austria-Hungary would assist Italy, either financially, militarily, all the good stuff. That's what was promised out of this alliance. Why? Because Italy is another new country, because Germany is also a new country, and it needed protection from the other nations that were already more established and wealthier than it. The Triple Entente. Now, unlike the Triple Alliance, this one actually involves the unison of 3 different alliances over the course of 14 years. So, first of all, we have the Triple Entente, which was unified by 1907. So this means that it was, first of all, the Franco-Russian Alliance, and the Entente Cordiale, and finally the Anglo-Russian Alliance, which all made up the Triple Entente. So that's what it means when it's unified by 1907. The Franco-Russian Alliance was formed in 1893, which stated that if one country is declared war upon, the other will come to its aid. So this is just like the dual alliance. If one country is declared war upon, the other one will come to its aid, financial, military, all the good stuff. This was backed up by the fact that Germany had taken France's provinces as Alsace-Lorraine, and France wanted to prevent that at all costs. So that's why they allied with Russia. Russia also allied with France because it was Russia, as futile and underdeveloped as I've said, they were scared that Germany might want to attack them. And oh boy, were they right. They should have been psychics. The Entente Cordiale was the agreement between France and Britain in 1904. This was a friendly agreement to settle all of the colonial disputes in Morocco and Egypt. This is not going to come up in this chapter, but you will learn more about this in the upcoming video, so do stay tuned. Now, what finally united, if I might say, the Triple Entente was when Russia joined in 1907. This started as the Anglo-Russian Treaty of 1907. This is where it gets trippy. Because Russia had already allied with France, and France was Britain's ally, it became known as the Triple Entente. So see, everything is just connected. This also solved colonial disputes in Persia, Afghanistan, and Tibet. But that has nothing to do with what we're learning right now. So it's just a bit of context, really. So this was all done for the sake of protection and to balance out the threat posed by the Triple Alliance, because the Triple Alliance was the first one. It was the first of all to do that. So the Triple Entente, these other countries, the other great powers, they had to find a way to balance out the threat posed by this other alliance, because these powers needed to find a way to protect themselves, as they saw that these other countries were teaming up. And when you see other countries, pretty big countries, teaming up like that, you do get worried. So as a way to counterattack that, they also teamed up and balanced it out. You can also use this ideology to explain why it turned into a worldwide war instead of an European war. This is because of Britain, France, and Germany's colonies in other continents. All of those countries together, boom, we got the First World War. Not the nicest. So why was there need for these alliances in the first place? To put it simply, there were tensions, and this picture basically shows you who was mad at who, and then we're gonna explain everything in the next slide. Reasons, the Triple Entente. So these are the reasons of the members of the Triple Entente only. We have Great Britain. So Great Britain saw Germany as a threat because of their quick industrialization and the modification of their navy. So they saw this progress as a threat to their well-established empire and naval force. Thus, it had to leave its splendid isolation, as I've said the meaning before, to deal with the German threat. So, as I've said, this splendid isolation is the policy of purposely avoiding alliances, to avoid being dragged into war. So that was Great Britain, and they did this because of fear. They were scared that Germany would basically take over, and they were suspicious at Germany's motives for this rapid industrialization. Like, it's very sus. I don't like it. Next up, we have Russia. And Russia, ironically, being the largest of the 6 powers, was lacking behind tremendously. But hey, you know what? We can't all be the best. We can't all be Great Britain. So this led to them being afraid that Germany would try to invade its territory, and that Austria-Hungary would take violent measures against its Slavs. So as I've said before, Slavs are people living in Eastern Europe. So near Eastern Europe. And as I've said before, Austria-Hungary has a bunch of nationalities, and one of those nationalities are Slavs. And because Slavs were causing a lot of ruckus in Austria-Hungary because they're one of the loudest wanting independence, because they were also part of the Serbs in Serbia who wanted independence. I know it's a lot. I know, just bear with me. So all of these points basically made Austria-Hungary want to take some measures against Slavs, and so that led Russia to be scared of what Austria-Hungary might do. Everything's very linked here, very linked. Next up, we have France. And France wanted to prevent their territory from ever being taken/attacked by Germany ever again, which is why they're allied with Russia. It wasn't because, let's be buddies. Nah, it's because they wanted to prevent Germany from ever doing what they did. It didn't really do much. Like, it was just the part of the terms of the peace treaty for Germany to get Alsace-Lorraine, but still, France didn't like that. So at the end of the day, France is mad at Germany. Germany is worried about France, and so we got this little tension between them. And now Russia is also involved. So they did this because they wanted to get Alsace-Lorraine back in the long run, basically. Next up, we have the reasons for the Triple Alliance, the members of the Triple Alliance. First of all, we got, the Queen, Germany. Germany was afraid that France would try to take back Alsace-Lorraine, and it also wanted to be stronger and more powerful than Great Britain. So that is the economic and naval races that will come up later. So next up, we got Italy. It wanted to ally itself with powerful countries in order to protect itself, as they were a new country with low military and economic power. So it just wanted protection from whoever. I'm pretty sure if they had gotten the chance to go to the Triple Entente first, they would have done that. So on the basis of protection, that's what they did. Next up, we have Austria-Hungary. And Austria-Hungary is very paranoid here. So it wanted to keep the different nationalities in the empire together and under control, especially the Serbs. Why? Well, because they wanted independence, because Serbia was getting a whole lot stronger. You see what I mean later on. So Austria-Hungary was eager to destroy Serbia because of its growth and independent status, which seemed to motivate the Serbs living in Austria-Hungary. Oh, it definitely did motivate the Serbs in Austria-Hungary. Then the tensions between the two sides grew as Serbs in their homeland and Austria-Hungary were frustrated by the fear of them losing their land to an Austria-Hungary attack. So, first of all, the fear of Austria-Hungary losing control, then the motivations of the Serbs in Austria-Hungary and in Serbia wanting to leave Austria-Hungary, and then the tensions of the Serbs in Serbia of an Austro-Hungarian attack. All of that stuff made Austro-Hungary need as much help, money, protection, support as possible. And we're done with that. But don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I still have some more stuff for you. I got some quizzes. I got some questions. And I got a bit of a study guide, a bit of a summary of what we've done just in the slides. So don't go anywhere. So this is like a bit of a help, like a bit of a flashcard. So simply put, the Triple Alliance was Austria-Hungary, Germany, and Italy. The Triple Entente was Great Britain, France, and Russia. They don't like each other, and they're trying to balance each other out. Next up, we got the Triple Alliance, and it was formed in 1882. So it was a dual alliance, and that was in 1879. And then Italy joins in 1882, and this when we have the Triple Alliance. Next up, we have the Triple Entente, and that was unified in 1907. First of all, we had the Franco-Russian Alliance in 1893. Then we have the Entente Cordiale in 1904. And then we have the Anglo-Russian Agreement in 1907. Here's the quiz I was telling you guys about. So here's a map for you to just, if you want, you can use it as like a refresher, like, okay, where is which country? Where is which continent? Where's everything I need to know, basically? So this will be useful in one of the questions. And if you've seen the first slide, then you basically know one of the answers at least. So first question, what alliance was formed in 1904? Who ruled Germany from 1888 to 1914? Why did France want Alsace-Lorraine back so badly? Who are the members of the Triple Entente? Who ruled Russia in 1905? Locate Italy and Germany, please. Okay, here we go. What alliance was formed in 1904? The Entente Cordiale. Who ruled Germany from 1888 to 1914? Kaiser Wilhelm II. Why did France want Alsace-Lorraine back so badly? It was an important industrial zone. Who are the members of the Triple Entente? Great Britain, France, and Russia. Who ruled Russia in 1905? Tsar Nicholas II. Locate Italy and Germany. There you go. G means Germany, I means Italy. There you go. And that's the quiz. Now, these are some exam-style questions. So, describe two features of the alliance system in 1905. And then, why was there tension in Europe in 1905? So these are just points. So the answers are just points. You don't have to say exactly what I said, but these are just points that you could go by. Features are basically things that describe something. So what are your features? Your hair, your eyes, your accent. Things that just make you, basically. And features that make the alliance system is, well, it's a system. What's a system made of? Those two alliances. Name them, tell us about them. Now, this question actually carries 6 marks. So that means that you have 3 points to fill. The point, a little bit more in-depth information, and then some extra knowledge. The point is a Triple Entente. More information is the countries involved. So that's Britain, France, and Russia. And a bit of more information is like, what was the point of this alliance, for example. So they were trying to balance out the threat posed by the Triple Alliance. That's that. There's your 3 marks. Next up, you get the Triple Alliance. And that's the second feature. And then you explain again, what are they? What are the members of the Triple Alliance? And that's Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. And then why, again. It was a pact to protect each other in case of a threat at war. By the countries of the Triple Entente, and to prevent escalation during war. Basically, yeah. If you have other points, of course, you can say them. You don't have to say the way I did. You don't have to say exactly the same manner I did. It's just points. So there you go. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry for the hammering. That is such a bad impression on my first video. Anyway, why was there tension in Europe in 1905? The alliance system made Europe seem divided. That's just the point. What else can you say about that? What divided? Who is divided? What the hell are you talking about? Well, basically, Group Britain and France, which are known for their power and strength, against Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, where the latter were the weakest of the bunch, really. Okay, but how did that even create tension, my dude? Like, what are you talking about? Well, this reinforced the idea that in case of a physical conflict, aka war, every country would be supported by another, creating a scene of tension for fighting in Europe. And so basically all of this tension of I'm stronger than you, or I'm stronger than you, or I want to be stronger than you, basically said, buddy, I'm gonna fight you so badly, dude. You don't even know what's coming. The whole world will see it. Yeah, that's basically it. And that's basically how tension grew in Europe in 1905. Because of the alliance system. The alliance system is just one point. There are many. Trust me. So there you go. That's the exam style question. And next up, we have a question to ponder over. This is something that I'm not going to answer because it's in your opinion. So you just think about it. And actually, that's what makes history so fun. It's like you think about stuff and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Oh my goodness. So yeah. In your opinion, explain how the alliance system was useful. My goodness, they're so annoying. I'm so sorry. I hope in the next video this won't happen. In your opinion, explain how the alliance system was useful in enforcing peace or in making war a lot more likely. Yeah. Was war a lot more likely with the alliance system, or was it just, or do you think that they were actually trying to make peace? Do you feel that in your heart? Talk it over with yourself, with your friend, with your mom, with your teacher. Who cares? Just talk about it. It's fun. Trust me, it's fun. Okay, now, Finn. Now I'm done. There you go. That's the whole lesson. Might be pretty long, but hey, at least you get this a little bit more clear now. Lots of more context. We love context over here. So, this is me. This is a nugget. This is another. And we out. Cool. Bye-bye.